From Crosby Village
to your radio.
Bliss Radio. This is
Bliss Radio.
Bliss Radio.
DJ Smigger rocks.
Bliss Radio.
Ashen Reach, Gone Tomorrow. Right, what a song that was, first of all, by the way. Absolutely fantastic. I played it last week and I decided there and then it's going to be a regular staple on the catalogue for the rock show. Now, for you lucky listeners, I've actually got the entire band Ashen Reach in here with me.
So, hello. Hey. Hey. How's it going?
Not too bad, not too bad. First of all, I want to ask, did you find the place okay?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We got it.
Well, I'm assuming you found the place because you're here.
Yeah.
So,
I'm still looking.
No, nobody got lost for 20 minutes.
I'm missing someone. I looked on Google Maps and there was about 3 Costas. I was like, oh, which one is it? Which Costa is it?
It must be that one. Isn't it? Crosby Village. There's literally, I get a Costa myself all the time. There aren't other coffee shops available. And I got one, walked out, and I could see the other shop. Like from the shop I was at. I was like, what is the point of having it that close?
Crosby Village looks like the kind of place that even if you ran in a straight line, you'd end up back at the same place 2 minutes later.
It's true.
It's like the scene in the Matrix at the train station where Neo just keeps running round and round and just never ends back on the train.
That's how far you run.
Yeah, every now and then there's just a cliff.
That's what happens with me every time I finish the show on a Monday. I try and run home and end up back here.
Yeah.
It's not good.
It's a pain. Yeah. People might have to dig their way to work.
To run home.
You have to dig their way to work.
Right, okay, to get us started properly, can you introduce yourselves in whatever order you like?
My name is Ian. I am the lead guitarist and vocalist for Ashen Reach.
My name is Daniel Moran. I make loud noises in front of the microphone because I'm the lead vocalist for Ashen Reach.
My name is Michael and I am the left-handed bass guitarist for Ashen Reach.
Why do you have to... The left-handed thing?
Because there's no other
Every time.
He's also got a hoodie on that actually says bassist,
And
just in case I forgot.
And the
T-shirt
that's,
as well.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm Jess and I'm the drummer.
I thought you were going to elaborate.
Sorry.
I'm Paddy. I play lead guitar and do the odd backing vocal for Ashen Reach.
I was really hoping you were going to say a different band.
And I'm Smigger and I don't play for Ashen Reach at all. Right, okay, to get us started, obviously, that song I just played before, we're going to be playing Phoenix a little bit later on, which is the brand new one, hasn't been released yet and all that. But before we get on to that, Ashen Reach, for those who are unaware, if you haven't been following Ashen Reach, they were formerly known as Equinox. So if you listen and you go, Equinox, I know Equinox, but I don't know Ashen Reach. You do, you know Ashen Reach because they are Equinox.
Yeah.
I tried to explain that in the best possible way. I went on a bit of a tangent there. Where did the name come from, Ashen Reach?
Well, really, me and Paddy play this game called Sea of Thieves. And there's a bunch of different islands in there. And one of the islands has got a relatively similar name to the band, just a couple of letters difference, but there's absolutely nothing else called Ashen Reach. It sounds pretty hard rock.
Yeah.
And,
And it's more to get the name, and the name is your own. And it's you're not sharing it with anybody else.
No one else has got the name. It's our name. If you search Ashen Reach, you're going to find us.
And if you do have the name, you don't.
Yeah.
Go away.
It's
If you're thinking,
it's not yours.
if you're in a band and you're thinking of renaming your band, do not use the name Ashen Reach because it's already claimed.
Don't even say it.
There's already
Don't even
3 other
think it.
Facebook pages now called Ashen Reach because of this.
We'll know if you even think about it.
Don't even say it. Don't even think about it. It's like Voldemort. Just don't say
they're
it.
allowed to say it because they're going to be talking about you, aren't they?
No.
Don't say it. Just forget that the bands have even been on and who they are or anything.
We're not even here. I don't know what you're listening to in your car right now, but we're not here.
Yeah, we went through a couple of different, a bit more out there names, didn't we? But really, it was just something that everyone can pronounce. It stands out. There's no confusing it. Like with Equinox, we had stuff like Equinox, Equinox UK, because Facebook does put UK on the end. It's just, it looks more solid and
And there's
professional.
Equinox gyms, Equinox, this, that and the other.
There's a lot of things.
It was very
Equinox.
unoriginal.
And I don't know why, but people kept confusing us with this band from Bulgaria who played the Eurovision recently. That never happened. They just had the same name. I just wanted to say that.
Right, okay.
Didn't happen.
Well, considering you say no one can get the name wrong, Ashen Reach, Bliss Radio got it wrong. Our very talented guys at Bliss Radio, the marketing department of Bliss Radio, was sharing it on social media and for some reason typed Ask and Reach.
It was funny because they typed Ask and Reach twice, but then when they linked the page, it says Ashen Reach.
Yeah.
So they
typed it, but then put the picture, which on the picture, the advertising picture actually says Ashen Reach.
Yeah.
I mean, that's about your Ashen Reach at the minute.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's because I'm Ask and Reach.
It was a pun.
That was such a dad joke. That's my department.
I got that because I live for the dad jokes. I actually do a segment later in the show called Smigger's Fantastic Facts, and all it is they are all true facts, but they're all stupid. Like last week I had one, and it's an actual true fact that all cows moo in different dialects.
How would you know?
So if a cow's from Liverpool, it's got a Liverpool twang to it. Or moolah, something like that. If a cow's in Scotland, it's got a different accent, and it's actually a true fact, so it's crazy. I'm going to do another one later. I haven't even decided what one I'm using, but it'll be something crazy anyway.
Fantastic, and it's made my life.
Smigger's Fantastic Facts. That's the whole reason behind it.
If you want another one, Hippo Skin's Bulletproof.
Really?
No, it's
Yeah,
not.
It
Shut
is.
up.
No, I'm not messing. That's an actual.
That
I'll
sounds
check
like
that
a
out.
bad. Like,
Well, you've heard it here first on Bliss Radio. I've actually got a really good one to use later on, mate, so you'll have to have a listen.
I want to know who found out. Like, who's sitting there going, I reckon cows have
Well,
dialects.
I thought you meant to have
Oh,
the
yeah.
bulletproof
Yes,
headphones. You're shot at him.
I'm sure it was obviously Arnold Schwarzenegger or someone, wasn't it? No, but the cow one, there was a professor somewhere in Cambridge or somewhere posh anyway, and he basically, his actual words after he wrote the paper, he said, so it is a true fact that you can take the cow out of Jersey, but you can't take Jersey out of the cow. That's what he said in his paper.
That's very cool.
Anyway, right, that's enough of my crap. Right. What I wanted to talk to you about is Bloodstock. The main thing I want to talk about Bloodstock. Now, I believe you won some competitions which
Metal to the masses.
led to that. Metal to the masses. Now, I happen to know myself that a couple of years back he's won a competition, a Battle of the Bands competition in Jupiter's in Liverpool city centre. I only know that because I actually work in Jupiter's myself as well.
Yeah, I didn't know until we came down here, and we were like, "Oh, that's cool."
But anyway, what happened with Bloodstock? How did the competition come about? What was it? How many bands were in it?
Metal to the Masses is a yearly run thing, and it's run across the whole of the UK. Ran by various promoters in the area. Our one was run by Andy Hughes, who's a really good guy we've worked with for a long time. And generally speaking, the first heat of these shows is ran for partially crowd vote and partially judge vote. And the most recent one in the past 2 years, it's been, and the finals have entirely been judged by Simon Hall, who is the manager for the Sophie stage. He's a super, super, super nice guy. We played for him as Equinox that night, and he really liked the way we played, so he kept us on, and then we went over to play Bloodstock, and it was absolutely unbelievable.
That must have been amazing doing Bloodstock. What was the attendance? Do you know?
Roughly about 700 people.
Yeah. The tent was like, I think it was 1,000 cap, and there were people to the edge. Obviously, it varied how clustered they were, but it was 700, 800 people.
We were really fortunate because our set time basically didn't clash with anyone else in the festival at all. Anyone in the arena, there was no one on the main stage.
So you weren't losing fans to
it
bigger
was just like
bands
5 minutes into and 5 minutes at the end, so we had quite a big chunk where everyone was listening to us, really.
And then you smashed it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we played really well. I'll say now, I was very, very, very proud of the performance that we put on there. I struggled quite badly with the vocals that day because I don't know what it is. At festivals, I just get a really pain throat.
The beer.
Yeah. Most likely. But I just get a really bad tickle in my throat at festivals because I develop bad coughs because of the air. Because I'm asthmatic, which is hilarious considering I'm a singer, and I've also got sinusitis, which is hilarious because I'm a singer. I'm not built for this job.
It could give you your uniqueness.
Yeah,
you know how many other singers are asthmatics with sinusitis?
Well, then the guy from Korn.
You know, I mean,
anyone here will know that.
Yeah, well, yeah, true. But look at Freddie Mercury. I mean, Freddie Mercury was famous because he had his palette thing. I can't remember the actual term for it. So it could be the thing for you. You never know.
That'd be pretty cool, yeah.
It could be, years after you've gone and you've retired and you've finished, someone might go, do you know what, that actually improves his voice, that? It was weird, that, you know.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It could be a thing, you never know.
Yeah, if it is, then it helped me out, because we did a pretty good job of Bloodstock. I think my favourite thing to do at those kinds of festivals, even though Bloodstock was absolutely the biggest one we played, we have played a couple of smaller local festivals here and there. I think we did one for the North East Wales promotions a while ago, which was for the North East Wales metal, or some kind of festival. Those ones, I forget the exact name, but it was really a lot of fun. And meeting the people who organised those festivals and meeting all the people who work behind desk and stuff, it's a very friendly environment because there's not really much room to be rude. Because any number of like clashing egos can set everything back. Yeah, so
it can kill the whole thing basically before it started.
The crew was absolutely lovely there. Like, anything you needed. Like, I was sitting there and I thought like there was like wires on the floor a bit, spread out, and I was like, oh, maybe they could do some duct tape, and someone was like, on it straight away, and I was like, forgot to bring a bottle of water, not even asking for it. Here you go. Smiling, everyone's enjoying it. It was just
before you knew it, you're asking for fruit baskets.
I know,
Excuse me, this port is 17 years old. I asked for 16.5. 5. I can't play in these conditions, guys. I'm going home.
So we've managed to get Ashen Reach before they become the divas that they're heading towards.
Only blue M&Ms.
Oh man, no. I don't think we'd survive as divas. We're just too stupid as people.
Fair enough.
We're just like outside of like the professionalism as mates. We all just act like complete morons.
It's the best way to be, because you enjoy life that way, don't you? Really?
Yeah. The whole band, fortunately, because the way we all met was Jess and Ian both were kind of like some of the original members, and then from there I went on auditions because one of my other bands told me about the fact that they were auditioning for a vocalist, so I went in and did that. And then when we wanted to update the sound, we brought in Paddy, and then recently for recordings Mike was going to do some session work for us with bass, and I've known Mike since college.
We both graduated together summer last year.
Same class, so because that I knew he was good, and me and him actually used to be in a little triad, and we didn't get too far with it, but we did a little Black Sabbath tribute band for a while, so I knew he was a really solid bassist, so we brought him in, and since then we've all just been really good friends.
Well, Michael was telling me before we came on air that when he did join the band, it was like, right, so when do we practice? And you were like, no, we'll record.
Oh yeah,
we sort of got thrown in right in the deep end straight away.
Yeah, the first day on the job, when he wasn't even technically in the band, he came in to record with us in the Motor Museum, which is where we've done both these songs with Loic Gayed. By the way, if Loic happens to be listening or hears this back, he is one of the most tremendous sound technicians I have ever worked with. He is unbelievable. He's made these songs sound incredible. If anyone needs to record anywhere, Motor Museum, Loic Gayed, get him. He's incredible. Yeah.
There you go.
He's a good friend as well. He's a nice guy. But that was his first day on the job, and he came into this bass
right in the deep end.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But it was like, when he did it, he just killed it.
I not long got back from holiday and messaged Dan saying, alright, when's the next practice? You're going to be in the studio, Mike? Okay.
Yeah, and I was just like,
it was just the second day, and we were like, should we ask him if he wants to be in the band or not? Should we do it? Will he say no? Will he even want to? And we asked him, and he was like, just 2 thumbs up. And was like, oh yeah, cool. And then that was that.
we all just looked at each other in the room, and I was just like, it's not a matter of whether or not he wants to be in the band.
He's in it.
He's like the guy. So we just went, Mike, yeah, you're in. And he was like, oh, cool. All right, what are we doing next?
Let's start straight away. So has Bloodstock led to more things? Because I know, obviously, big things are happening with Ashen Reach at the moment. Was it Bloodstock and winning the competitions that got into that, or was it something else? Was it is new management or anything like that?
There were a lot of things that we did get from Bloodstock, and namely, we got to work with some really, really cool people. Having that underneath our belt kind of helped us to go. And the way I like to look at like credentials as a band is kind of like a CV. So it's like, hey, here's a bunch of things that we've done as our work, and Bloodstock was like, one of those little stars that you keep on the top of it, where it's just like, one of
the highlights.
It's one of the things you include in like the covering letter kind of thing. So we so now that we had that, we had a lot of people ask us for our gigs, and our gigs kind of took a little bit of a step up. The last gig we played with Equinox was in Manchester Academy, which was unreal. Absolutely fantastic way to close out the those days. That was a lot of fun. And Matt, the guy who runs it in Twisted Illusions, a good mate, wonderful guy, unbelievable band as well. So to play for them was great. So since we had that under our belt, that was a big thing. But I think the biggest thing we took away from it was like, that's what we want. Because we saw Judas Priest the night before we played.
Ah, right, okay.
And when we saw them, I just stood there and looked at the band, and I was just like, that's where I want to be.
We need to be there now. That's our target now. We're here now. We're doing well. Let's get there.
To know that our stage was about 20 metres left of where they were playing was possibly the biggest spare run we've had as a band. It was a very, very big thing for us to see. And I mean, we were on the same night. Who was headlining on the Saturday that year? It was Gojira. Oh man, we were on the same night as them. To know that was a huge this is attainable.
Yeah.
This is.
It wasn't direct things. There really was that we got from it. It was more. I think it was the contacts that kind of did it. So it wasn't anything like, because you've played Bloodstock, we're going to give you this. It was because we kind of it was kind of showcase, wasn't it? And we
caught the right attention.
It's a chance to showcase your talents, and you've done it, and they've gone. They are really good. They can do so much better as well.
We caught the right people's attention.
You get your artist pass as a band, and then that's kind of like a
You
you
can
know,
go
do
anywhere.
with it what you will. So some people get the artist pass and may just like sit there looking at it all weekend, like, oh my god, we're on, and like sit in the tent or just go bimbling about. We were like in the backstage, VIP,
Making a point
Especially
of
like
down.
next to
everyone you
everyone,
can
just
possibly
like
meet.
shaking hands,
Yeah.
I
like
think
catching the flu,
it was.
meningitis,
I know.
just trying to get on anyone we could. Just like, don't care what you've got, mate. Shake my hand.
Yeah.
Just
No,
like
I
trying
can,
to get, you know, handing out CDs, cards.
I
just
can
saying,
definitely
you know,
appreciate that. If you've got that access all areas, you're going to make a point of using it,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you're going to
Yeah.
access all
Who
areas,
was it that
aren't you?
you
Really?
spoke to, Dan? It was
Oh,
someone
yeah.
from Megadeth. He was like, that looks like, what was his name?
Yeah. So to varying degrees of success with the CDs, one of the biggest ones we got away to, it was one of the guitar players from Megadeth. Yeah, that was a hell of a thing.
He was like,
Sean-
that's him. And then we turned around, looked back, and then Dan was over there shaking his hand, giving him an EP. And we were like, what?
Yeah, it was,
Like, in a matter of
it was
seconds.
Sean and Chris from the Endgame lineup right the way through to Super Collider, and I was like, that's Chris and Sean who used to be in Megadeth, but I don't remember their band being on because they'd started another band whose name I can't quite remember, but they were playing on the Sophie stage not too far away, and I just saw them, I was like, they were their band members over there. That's absolutely them. I'm gonna go and say hey, and I stood up, took an EP.
Yeah.
And the two guys were stood, like Paddy and Jess were like, are we going to go and say hello to them? By the time they turned around, I was like, hey Chris, what's going on, man?
That was
What's
it.
going on,
Then.
fella? I didn't know you were here. It was like, oh yeah, we're playing the Sophie stage at like 20 to 7. You're going to come see us? I'm like, I am now, let's go. So I was like, by the way, I'm in one of the bands who played yesterday. Do you mind taking an EP? I was like, yeah, that's sweet, no problem. Just took it. I was like,
It's great,
yeah,
isn't
cool,
it?
we'll
Yeah.
catch us in a bit, and just walked away.
I'm
I
so
just
glad
think
we got
this-
him to do that.
This is just the start. I'm going to say it before anyone else does. When yous are famous, and I mean massively famous, I know yous don't want to say because you don't want to jinx it, but when yous are famous, massively famous, remember me, Bliss Radio.
Remember Smigger's fantastic.
That's all I'll
facts.
say. Yeah, that's it. Because I know. I mean, some of the bands I've had on have been great, and I've said it to everybody. I'm like, when you make it, remember me.
Yes.
But you know, yous are gonna make it anyway. Yous are awesome. Right. I'm gonna go into the adverts. We've got a couple of adverts to play, and then after the adverts, I'm gonna play Phoenix straight away, and then I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions about Phoenix and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Races, man.
Thank you.
Okay, right, stay tuned. You're listening to Bliss Radio. This is The Rock Show with me, DJ Smigger, and I am joined with Ashen Reach.
Radio from another place.
Live from Crosby
Welcome.
to Bliss Radio.
Bliss Radio.
Set control for recreation.
was Ashen Reach, Phoenix. You are listening to The Rock Show on Bliss Radio with me, DJ Smigger. I'm actually joined with the entire band, Ashen Reach. If you have been listening, we were discussing everything about BLOODSTOCK Festival and how the band got together, where the name come from, all that stuff. But I'd like to ask you about Phoenix and, of course, the other one I played earlier as well. Is there anybody who specifically who specifically wrote the tracks, and is there anything behind them, or
that song in particular is one of the most collaborative efforts we have had as a band. That song, it was the very, very first song we wrote when Paddy came in, and it happened in like a day. Like, we just came in, put the
just kept coming up with bits yourself.
I mean, just when it started stacking, we eventually just went, this is going to be really easy to put together, so let's put this together today. And when we did, it was like, cool, let's write the lyrics. And it was all about kind of like the rebirth of the band when Paddy came in. So generally speaking, I write the lyrics for the band, but the music, it kind of depends. Someone will either come up with an idea and flesh it out with the band in the room and slowly start persuading it into a different direction, or we'll just sit in the room, throw ideas out, and someone will go, that works. That starts here, that sounds like this kind of riff, build the rest around it. So
it is a very collaborative.
Absolutely, probably the most collaborative song we have in the entire library of tunes we have today.
Well, I mean, I haven't had the pleasure of seeing you live yet, but I will. I definitely will at some point. But obviously, I've heard Gone Tomorrow and I've heard Phoenix, and they're both different, slightly different. Like, Gone Tomorrow's a little bit heavier.
That is 100% of the aim with any music that we write. The whole point. Personally, I get very...
don't want to be stuck with one specific...
Absolutely not.
Every song sounding the same, but with different words, like a lot of bands have done in...
Absolutely,
Musicians will know, like, whatever you write. You don't, it's no one, like, when people talk about, like, a hit they've had, very often it's on an album, they go, oh, I thought that one was going to be the hit, or... and then it's, often surprises, but we do make as much effort as we can to try and make every song its own, and not just like have it so you've heard the first two songs, you've heard them all kind of thing.
We've sat there.
We want like identity, and we want the
it's nice to sort of have a go, right, okay, you've heard this song, now listen to this, completely different.
That is
or a thread. So they know, but they still know it's us.
There's still
a band sound, but it's not the same song reworked kind of thing.
We've done that before, where someone will come up with like a riff or something, and you go, "Ooh, that kind of sounds a bit too much like Phoenix." So we kind of need to change something there because we don't want it to do that and copy.
From a creative standpoint, for me, I very much don't like it when a band falls into a pit of being able to go, oh, that one sounds like that song and everyone likes that, so it's very easy to
just do that because everyone like that.
That annoys me. As a listener, that grates on me, which is why bands who write songs in the same keys, or they have the same kind of tempo, or they always play at the same time signature.
Well, a lot of like, not obviously, when I say bands, but not bands, a lot of singers do the same type of thing. Like, you'll hear a song, I won't mention any specific artist, but you'll hear a song by an artist, and then a year later they will release a completely different one, but it's the same song. It's literally some of the chorus is slightly different, but the majority of the song's the same.
There are so many. There are a lot of bands that I feel fall into that trap, and the worst time to fall into it is early. I think if there's any time for you to really try and push yourself, it's right at the beginning, when like a band hasn't... I don't think you develop a proper core until a good couple of albums in, really. I don't think any band really goes, their first album is their definitive work, because they take such an ebb and flow, and take Metallica, for instance. They started off as a thrash band, and now they've got influences of it, but then when it comes to like rock bands in the middle, they very much dived into a more commercial aspect, and that's just a natural ebb and flow of the band. For us, and for me in particular, I like to make sure that each song prior, like facing the one prior, does not match, so that you've got a different kind of sounds and colours and feelings coming to you when you hear it.
Well, it's good because you're also catering to a larger audience then, because if you release one song, if you release Gone Tomorrow, and someone listens to it and goes, no, it's too heavy, that, I don't like that, it's a bit too heavy for my liking, they're not going to listen to it again if everything else is going to be the same type of thing. But as they might then listen to Phoenix and go, okay, that's brilliant, I love that. And then it'll be the other way around. You'll have fans who'll love Gone Tomorrow, but Phoenix won't be their thing.
Yeah.
But it's good because you're then catering to a wider audience, so you're getting more people.
It shows what we can do. This first batch of songs we've got, because they're so different. Like, we've got a song that's like 9 minutes called Homecoming. We've been told loads at gigs that's one of our best songs. And you wouldn't think at like a show that people would want to listen to like a 9-10 minute song, would you? But
worked for Queen with Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yes. But it just shows
back then.
Areas we can do.
We've got a lot of different flavours and types of things and ideas across a lot of our songs. Some of them end up progressive, some of them end up very like heavy, fast-paced rock like Phoenix. Others end up more kind of like modern metal tunes like Gone Tomorrow. You've got songs like Jester, which is a bit more like it's a bit more kind of like an 80s kind of Guns N' Roses-esque kind of thing. And then you've got a bunch of other songs that kind of fill the mould of, you know, and try and rephrase that to make it so I don't go off on a tangent because I know I can. We have different ideas and different genres across the place, but the core is very much hard rock with a modern metal twist.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. So obviously you keep your core, as you say, because it's your sound then, isn't it? But it's a little bit different genre. Yeah. Well, what's the score then? Are you working on an album now? Is Gone Tomorrow and Phoenix going to be part of an album? Do you have more tracks in the works?
Very, very likely.
What you can talk about, basically.
Yeah, we've got a number of songs, quite a lot of songs that we're going to be able to put together for what we are hoping to put together as an album, or some kind of disc that we know of. But what we're hoping to kind of push with that at the moment, because we've just been picked up by a company called Enzo Management, who are going to be helping us kind of
seeing that on social
realise a little bit more of the project that we kind of want to work on. But the main thing for us right now, because we want to start pushing towards like being able to develop a disc of some sort, is to be able to get round to a few of the places that we've not played before. So our first show this year, which we've set up since before Enzo, but we're hoping with Enzo we'll be able to build a couple more up. Our first show's in Leeds with Stage Light events on the 24th of Feb. The next home show we've got's like May 12th in the Zanzibar with Twisted Illusion, Scare Tactics and Prognosis and Riptide, all pals of ours and all incredible bands.
Oh, brilliant.
But that's like a home show, and we do a lot of home shows, and it's easy to find home shows because it's the home.
It's home,
It's very easy to
It's like someone goes, okay, we want you in the Zanzibar, we want you in the heebie-jeebies, we want you in Jupiter's. You're like, yeah, I know where all them places are because I live here.
Yeah. They're dead easy to know because we've been here for ages, so we frequent them, so we see who works there. Whereas places like Leeds, London, some places in Scotland or Ireland or Wales, there are a lot of places there that we've not travelled to. So
we're going to get a hand with that now, just building our audience, helping more people see us.
Well, I'm sure with you changing from Equinox to Ashen Reach, years have had to change your social medias and stuff, so any followers you've had with Equinox you probably lost and that. So
that was annoying.
The story of how we changed the social media pages for another day. But
that was a long slog of work. But fortunately, I think
individually adding every follower type of thing.
I think in a way it's been really good for us because as a growth, I've never seen any page that any of us have been a part of grow so quickly. It's been incredible to see. We've got a lot of very loyal folks who've been able to push us, who we thank very much.
If you just want to give a quick shameless plug, what's your social medias? How can we find you on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram?
Everything is just Ashen Reach. We made sure it could be as simple and easy to find as possible.
Facebook.com/Ashen Reach, Instagram /Ashen Reach,
Twitter Ashen Reach.
Yeah, so it's just Ashen Reach. So if you're listening and you like the sounds of the band and you haven't yet joined the Facebook page or the Twitter page or the Instagram page,
get on it.
MySpace isn't going anymore, is it?
No.
if it is, we've missed the trick.
Well, if you want to follow the band, just get on your social media, whatever one that you prefer. I mean, I prefer Facebook. I don't really use Instagram, not one for that yet. Not yet, anyway. But whatever one you prefer, just search Ashen Reach, and I'm sure you'll find their page. So it'll be good. Okay, then. I think we're going to go to the next block of adverts, and then I want to find out a bit more how you can be booked. If any of our listeners are running a pub or a club or a venue or a cafe or a bookshop and they want to book you.
That'd be a very interesting gig. Hey guys, who wants to check out our selection of Penguins book?
A rock, it'd have to be a really selective bookshop, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, just Lovecraft books stacked for as far as the eye can see.
Brilliant. Right, stay tuned. You're listening to Bliss Radio. This is the station that rocks every Monday night. I'll be back with the band very shortly. Joined by Ashen Reach. If you have been listening, we've spoke about loads of stuff. If you haven't been listening, where have you been? You've been in a cave or something. You need to have been listening.
You've been running around Crosby trying to
I know
find
what
your
they've
house
been
in
doing.
a straight line.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Just circle around Crosby Village over and over.
Well, if you haven't been listening and you're just tuning in now, and obviously you're going to be gutted that you've missed the beginning of the interview, in the next week or two, this interview will be added to the Listen Again page on the Bliss Radio website, and obviously I'll be sharing on my social media, and Ashen Reach will probably share on theirs as well, so you'll be able to listen again anyway. Or if you have been listening, you've really enjoyed the interview, which I wouldn't blame you because it's been fantastic, you'll be able to listen again anyway. Right, as we promised, I'm going to ask the band how you can... we know the next gig is in Leeds, the end of February. What's the venue?
I'm not sure. The Fenton?
Yeah.
Fenton
in Leeds.
Jess knew, I did not.
I had to think really quick then, though. Yeah.
Right, but the guys have just informed me as well while we were off air that although the next event, the next gig is in Leeds, and then the first gig in Liverpool is going to be in May, that's just what's arranged up to this present moment in time. So if you do find them on social media, any updates you'll be aware of then. So obviously as soon as gigs get booked in, it'll be getting advertised, so keep your eye on the pages. Okay, for anyone who's listening who runs a venue, a club, a bar, a theatre, a cafe, or as we mentioned earlier, a bookshop,
Or even an arena.
If you want.
yeah, I mean, to be fair, I know the owners of the Echo Arena always listen to my rock show. They love it.
Get us on with the darkness. Get us on with them, you're dead funny.
That'd be brilliant. But yeah, so if there's anyone who owns a venue or is running a venue or club or anything where they can book yous, how would they go about booking yous?
Facebook.com/Ashen Reach. You can inbox us there. You can speak to Enzo Management, who we need to clear our gigs with out of courtesy to Rachel, who is the wonderful lady and who's going to be helping us out. But one of the better ways you can get to us is through our email, which is ashenreach@outlook.com.
Yep. So that was...
Got him!
They got there in the end. So it was ashenreach@outlook.com, or as you said before, you can message on Facebook or whatever, and you'll be pointed in the right direction anyway if you would like to book the band.
Facebook is absolutely the quickest way to do it, but if you prefer to do it by email, we do get back to those quickly as well.
I have got everything on my phone. As soon as it comes up, I will reply. So,
You get the ding as soon as somebody emails you, return as you do. Okay, well, before we wrap the interview up, I got an email a little bit earlier from a guy called Bill Sloan. Bill Sloan emailed in and he said, I'm really looking forward to this interview with Ashen Reach. They're fantastic. He basically, I don't know how much he's paid them, but he absolutely loves you.
It wasn't very much.
He said he's seen you perform live and he can't wait for the album and that. So before we say bye, would you like to give Bill a message?
Bill is a boy. I like the boy. He's a good boy. He's been following us for as long as we have been boys and girls. And we like this boy very much, and we hope he continues to be a boy.
Yeah, he's always commented on everything and supported us through it all, hasn't he? From Equinox to Ashen Reach.
So,
he's been very happy.
Is he the Ashen Reach super fan then?
He's a boy.
He's one of them.
The super boy, yeah.
There's a couple of contenders for that one there. I'd say Sav was a pretty high
they all
one.
need to go into a wrestling ring and fight it out to be the number one fan.
Sav will win because he watches far too much WWE and probably has some techniques.
Oh, well, there you go.
There's a way of sorting it, and we'll let you know when that's happening very soon.
That's on it.
There you go. That's another reason to watch out on social media, because something's going to happen between Sal and Bill. Could be a wrestling event, could be a dance-off, we don't know.
Both?
Could be a very formal handshake.
The quickest game of
cross
chess
each
you've
other's
ever
hands
seen.
first.
Yeah. Whoever wins becomes the biggest Ashen Reach fan.
And he wins a glowing sense of pride and achievement and very little else.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. That's not a bad prize,
So
to be
if you're
fair.
wanting anything in that ballpark,
Yeah.
let us know. And you two could contend for
Anyone who has an
Super
arena,
Yeah. If you you've heard, if you're currently running an arena or a stadium,
either book us for a show or a fight.
I believe. I believe Anfield Stadium was starting doing concerts now, so I know the owners of Liverpool Football Club always listen to my show as well. As far as I'm concerned, everybody listens to the show. I do a sports show on a Saturday afternoon with my friend Gary, and we actually say, we always do shout outs to Klopp and that, and say, because he's obviously listening.
He will be.
Yeah.
No,
I gave a special thank you to Jurgen Klopp for my last performance in uni, and I'm pretty sure he didn't listen.
I think you thank Jurgen Klopp for being alive more than your mum and dad.
Well, funny enough, you should say that. Klopp's just emailed me now, just to tell you he was listening. No, he was listening.
I'm glad I can.
He was, as soon as you said that, he turned off.
He's got to be the soundest German ever, if not the soundest human.
Yeah.
Ever.
He's
such a nice guy, isn't he?
He's impossible to hate.
He is such a nice guy. Hopefully I'll be getting him on as a guest on the sports show at some point, hopefully.
That's very cool.
Yeah. It's very possibly untrue, but okay, well, to wrap it up, I've got to say a big thank you for coming in. Yous have been brilliant. If you've listened to any interviews I've had in the past with bands, they've all been great, and some of my guests have had on all fantastic guests, but this hasn't felt like an interview. It's felt like we've just sat round, had a chat, had a laugh, and it's been great. So hopefully the listeners have enjoyed it as much as we have.
Yeah, absolutely. And to keep an eye out for the music video we're going to release within the next month.
We never mentioned the music video.
We're going to be having a crack at making a music video for Phoenix. We've been working pretty hard lately to try and make sure that something like that.
My lovely father, Joe Stanley, Joe Stanley Photography, and he's helped us do our lyric video, which is for Gone Tomorrow, which has helped boost our page so much to start off with. We went from having to start fresh to almost 700 followers in less than 3 weeks,
which is
like it's proper helped it rocket. The
guy works extremely hard. He's one of the best photographers that we know. I'm not just saying that because he's Jess's dad and he's gonna throw his tea at me if I don't say that. He wouldn't. But no, he's a great guy, and we wouldn't be here without him. He's a great dude. So
well, I actually know Joe, but we never mentioned that we're like sort of 27th cousin removed or something like that. Me and Jess are actually related somewhere down the line. I think Jess's granddad is my mum's uncle or something like that.
Smigger's crawled through an alternate black hole, in which in one of the alternate universes Joe happened to be his dog, and through distant relation ended up here as Jess's 900th cousin 563 times and a half removed.
All this madness is all coming because I've got a Rick and Morty t-shirt on.
Most likely.
Okay, well, once again, thank you very much for coming on, and hopefully we'll be getting you on again at some point in the near future. As I said earlier, both of the tracks, Gone Tomorrow and Phoenix, I'll be playing. They'll be regularly on my catalogue, on the rock catalogue. I always try and play some stuff from local bands. I've got Heavy North Music and The High Rip, and now I've got some Ashen Reach as well. So obviously keep me informed of any new tracks you've got out as well, and feel free to send them if you'd like me to play them and stuff. And hopefully I'll get you in again. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Stay tuned. You are listening to Bliss Radio, the station that rocks.
DJ Smigger rocks.
Bliss Radio.
From Crosby Village
to your radio.
Bliss Radio.